Hello. It's Just Trades Futures here again. And of course, it's another trading day. It's a beautiful Monday. Tomorrow, today here in Finland, it's very dark and wet outside, but that's totally fine for us. We are day traders here, and we're gonna sit in front of our screen for most of this session. Ooh, and I already had a little bit of a look at the markets, and the markets look quite delicious indeed. Quite delicious indeed. Let's just jump right into it because who doesn't like looking at the markets? As always, we're gonna start with some pre-market preparation. I already made some notes here pre-market. I like to review a little bit, ahead of time, but I left them here on the TPO on ES. But we can still keep them there. I don't think that's gonna be of any issue here. How are you guys doing, by the way? If you have any plays or markets you want me to review before we go, let me know. But let's start. It's gonna be a good day for gaps again. Fading the gaps. I think it's gonna be a high probability setup today. Usually Mondays do not give me the best setups, but hey, this Monday and the last Monday was a huge trading day for us. We got two huge trades there last Monday. But hey, let's look at it. Well, first scenario, as I already wrote here, open up and reject around the singles and overnight high, or the previous day's high. I think that's very possible. This is not a very clean high either, so it's gonna be a magnet. So I'm expecting some type of move up here into the 6,700 area, and then reject down, take the previous close, and then just continue to the downside. Maybe even stay here in value, that's possible too. But an open up and rejection from these single prints into the previous close is something I'm expecting. We also have a clean level of the 6,700, so nice and even level. I do like that short play. If not, I do also see a world where we just open down, we take the previous close, we fill the singles, and then we find buyers and open up into these levels here. And then we're probably gonna just find some balance around the single prints. And if you're new to market profile, market auction theory, single prints usually, this is like poor structure in the market, and the market usually likes to fix this structure. So usually this structure in the long run becomes balanced, and you can see like balance days forming around these areas. Very possible that we could have something like that coming up. But yeah, I mean, a pretty simple plan for both trades here. You could look at longs from this area here outside of value as well, and we have a nice single there lining up with a long trade, or then fade from the outside in. That's kind of what we're looking for today. Looking like some high probability setups here on ES. Let's take a look at YM. Do we have the same type of setup? Yeah, we pretty much do. Open up, take the singles and the previous day's high, reject down, take the singles, and maybe balance it out somewhere here in these areas. Or we open down, take these singles, open up, take these singles, and then balance out in these areas. So it's gonna be one of those sweep both sides. You have magnets above and below. So usually on these types of days, the market wants to take care of all the magnets at once, and I feel like this is gonna be the case today. And I'm really looking forward to taking some type of play today where I could capitalize on the fact. But hopefully we can get that. Let's look at RTY. Well, RTY already took some singles here on Friday, so that's kind of not the case on RTY. The only play on RTY I'm seeing is an open up, and then we fall down and fill these single prints and find some type of balance maybe around these areas here. Yeah, a very basic play on RTY. But yeah, RTY, the only market that's not presenting us with two different scenarios, but I do like that scenario. Also, this high here is not the cleanest, so something that could happen is that we also extend to that high and then we reject. But RTY, more of a open up, reject down type of scenario that I'm looking for at least. Yeah, that's pre-market prep. The preparations are done. We are pretty much ready to trade. A very fast prep. I already prepared beforehand as well, so I already know what's gonna happen here. I always do, but I think it's fair to you guys that I do the prep. Maybe a lot of traders would just want to see the trading part, me showing up on a day, not prepping, but hey, I don't care about the entertainment as much as I do about just teaching people proper habits, because people do not like boring traders. They want action, and I want to change that. We want to make as many traders in this community as good as they can be. You know, don't copy me, but copy my habits. I built up these habits for years now, and I know what it takes to be a full-time trader because I'm here. I'm doing it for full-time. And yeah, I mean, everyone should just focus on doing the right thing, creating these habits, focusing on what's going on in your mind rather than trying to find some secret strategy somewhere. I'll just tell it to you now. There is no secret in trading. There is no one who's gatekeeping any secret. It's about self-improvement. It's about being a better person and a better trader day by day. And you have to ask the right questions. You have to ask the right questions. What can I do better today? How can I be 1% better every day? And then once that compounds, you're going to be so much better in a longer period of time. Trading is a long time game. It's not something that you're going to just be good at from the beginning. You might have a nice streak in the beginning because either you're trading on simulated environments or you don't really know how it feels to lose yet. But once you get that feeling of losing, then the emotional side gets into trading, and that's the hard part. The emotions, controlling that urge to take trades that are not trades. You know, you're FOMOing in on plays, you're moving your stop losses. It's such a big puzzle piece to put together, so you have to just take one puzzle at a time, get it there, and then improve. It's not, you know, very, very complicated, but it's very boring, and it's gonna take time and effort for really anyone to get that down. For really everyone to get that down. I'm gonna see here if yeah boy, yabba da boo. Alright. Enough with the rants, 8 minutes. You can also look at the news if you want. I already had a look, but there's nothing special today. You can see November 24th. The ECB speech, we do have that, but that doesn't really affect the US markets too much. Maybe if you trade DAX or any other markets on the European side, you might be interested in this. But Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index, 1 hour into the session. We're gonna have that. That's not gonna be like a huge news announcement, but hey, it's good to have this in mind still. Hey, it could be that the market could move a little bit or have a little bit less liquidity, a thinner order book, if this news announcement makes it move. Just being aware of news is important. But yeah, nothing else really. I don't really care about the bill auctions either way. So that's for the news. That's for the news, and now we're just waiting for the market to open. For the market to open. As always. My beloved traders. But yeah. Really expecting to have a nice trading session today. I really like the levels, I really like how today is setting up all around the board here. So we'll have a look here if we can get a setup from the open. 6 minutes. I think this setup could come quite fast into the open, if possible. So we just have to be focused and ready for anything really. anything really. Alrighty. Alrighty, boys. Let me know if you have any setups today, if you took any trades yet in the pre-market. I don't like to trade the pre-market much, to be honest. I like the moves. I like the volatility. I never really tried pre-market trading, to be honest. Maybe a few trades here and there, but I like the predictability of trading. The cash session, the RTH session. So we'll keep doing what works. Five minutes left, and we shall get some action today. Not a lot of trades last week. We had that Monday trade, and then I think we had few trades that we lost as well. I can't remember the days. I would have to look at my journal. I think we lost on Friday as well. No, we had the trade on Monday and Friday. That's how it went. Yes. Yeah, we are a little bit up last week. Not by a huge margin. I think just like $200-300 overall on the week. It's not like a huge week, but hey, I'll take it. A green week is a green week. Friday was a very great example of how having risk rules is important. I took 2 trades, lost those 2 trades, and stopped trading. And I said, okay, probability-wise, still a good probability that it might take the level. But hey, I took 2 strikes already. I'm not trading. And you could really see afterwards, after that session, that there was a huge trend up and we were trying to bet on it going down. So that's why you have risk rules in place, because anyone else there, with not good habits would have lost money and given back a lot of their profits. And that's not something you want to do. You should be a greedy motherfucker when it comes to your trades. I feel like sneezing. I don't know. Not sure if I'm a little bit sick or something. Same in the weekend. I was super tired and had a flu. Maybe still a little bit today. But I feel energy-wise very, very good. So we'll see here what happens. 2 minutes left. So pretty much in ES we are gonna wait for a move up here. This is what we're looking for. And then around these areas, look for a sell into the previous close. We also have a quite clean level here at the 6,700 mark. So something like this could also be possible. We run the level and then we drop down. But we'll see. Like, as long as this overnight high gets taken, I'm allowed to take a trade. That's what I'm looking for. But if you run up here and run a little bit of stops on the way, I'm totally fine with that as well. RTY and YM already quite close to the gap close here. So if you're new to trading, gap close means that we come back to the price that we left off on Friday. So the last price traded on Friday was 6627, and that's the level we would look for. Jessel, would you like many viewers? No, I don't. I hate viewers. Oh, the bots. Quite usual on Kick by the looks of it. If you're only watching on YouTube, I'm multi-streaming. So on Kick you get a little bit of bots here and there. Or pretty much every stream I have, there's a bot who's trying to sell me some type of product. Alright. Here we go, boys. The market opens and we're gonna see if we can find a trade here out of the open. 15 seconds and market should open. I hope my time is I think I need to synchronize my clock a little bit. All right, here we go. The market opens. Market opens. RTY closes the gap already out of the open. There's not a play there. YM testing the ETH VWAP and yes. Also maybe looking to go into that VWAP there out of the open. As you can see, YM already took the previous close as well. So this leaves ES as the only market left for a play. How interesting is that? ES only market in play. Oh, US is gonna have Thanksgiving too as soon as well. So Thursday, I believe it is will be a little bit of a slower session, or there won't be a session at all. I mean, pretty sure of that. All right, here we go. We take the previous, overnight high. Let's look at the delta here. How's the delta looking? Still seeing some good delta. And now a small shift, starting to see sellers out of the open. A little bit, but nothing major. Nothing major. Nothing major. It's a quite good gap size here as well today. We ran the overnight high. Still looking like it wants to continue to the upside maybe. Delta increasing nicely. So far, we'll see if it manages to continue to the upside more or if we just start falling down here. That's a clean push through a lot of volatility right now as well. I really want to take this to another screen so I can see the levels on my other monitor. Sorry for that. It's an aggressive push to the upside. Let's see if we might have a touch on the single prints here as well. The singles just above here. And here we go. We took a touch on the singles already. So this is kind of where we would be looking for a little bit of selling. But so far, I would not take a short trade here yet. We find sellers here. You can see delta changed. We took a peek into the single prints here a little bit and then a delta shift, but still looking quite bullish. Quite bullish here. Every market finding some buyers. But we are only focused on ES right now. That's the only market we are looking for today. I really want to see a play here. We already jumped into the single prints. We get some sellers. maybe later. Nice delta shift. You can see that we start seeing some selling delta in here, but still so strong buying delta. 1000 buying delta here and 800 here, but price didn't really move with such a high delta. So we'll see here if the buyers can actually push through. Usually when you see a delta shift like that where you have huge delta but price doesn't move, then I have like question marks in my mind going, okay, are we gonna turn here? Because it means that there was a lot of buyers but nothing happened, right? That's the only thing it pretty much means. And yeah, this move is continuing to the upside. Still going deeper into the single prints here. But that's totally fine for us. We are not in a hurry here. Not in a hurry at all. If we get a trade, we get a trade. That's how it goes. Some negative delta coming in. Finding some sellers for the first time after we had a move up. Let's see how it responds, or does it like to respond at all? Really good volatility out of the open once again here. You can see delta here, negative delta on both sides. On both sides. Still looking for that short. Really good risk reward from these levels, but we have to wait a little bit. A little bit here. Alright, now we're getting some sellers here. And I am much more interested in taking a trade right now. But we have to see here if this candle can keep up the momentum to the downside. It's finding some buyers in here for now. Nice reaction from the 9 EMA. Still not strong enough. Not strong enough to go. Pushes down, almost touches RTH VWAP as you can see. Almost gets a touch and then rejects to the other side. And now we might get an entry here. But we'll see what it does. I'll take 4 contracts instead of 5 to just minimize risk a little bit. There we go, we take an entry here. And we are in a gap to close trade, boys. Targeting the gap close. From here, risking 270 on this trade. The risk to reward is amazing. Almost 3R if we manage to drop from these levels. And now looks like we get some buyers here. But nice negative delta on that RTH VWAP. As you can see, nice reaction from it. Sellers pushing down again. We are at the point of control now. Some really good selling here. Entry was good for sure. Finding some positive delta here now. And we could have some fight here against the sellers. The question is, do we actually go to ETH VWAP here or not? I'm gonna... I mean, I meant to buy one. No, well. I want to decrease my size there. That was the play, but I did it a little bit. But now we have the proper size for this trade. I was a little bit over leveraged on this trade. I noticed it from the risk. Usually I like to risk around $250 on a trade. We were almost at 300 there. So getting size down a little bit there because we got the move in favor and we started seeing some buyers. And if we get to this level, I might add back to 3 contracts. But for now, doesn't make sense. All right, here we go. Holding nicely below the RTH VWAP. I really want to see it go to the ETH VWAP as well. But so far, trading here around the previous or the point of control. If you manage to break down here, I am gonna add into the position as well. And then I can take my stop above the RTH VWAP, which I think makes sense. Now touching ETH VWAP, getting a touch there. Let's see if... Not quite. Almost touched it. Now we got the touch by the looks of it. Not quite. Not quite. But now we have a unfinished auction here, I believe. So that could be a good thing for an ad if we pull back a little bit and then we make a lower low. I would really like to add into that type of move. So far, liking it. RTY having a much wider pullback by the looks of it, already almost trading at the highs. What is YM looking like? YM is much more bearish than the other markets again. Very interesting, very interesting. A big difference here between the other between the markets. So if you get a pullback here, we have an unfinished auction here. So this is gonna be a magnet. So something like this could be nice. And then if you get an ad, we get some clean structure to put our stop behind. But so far, not gonna add into the position. I always add into 50% of the move. So if my target is here, I want to see it move 50% in advantage first, and then that's what, or when I would decide to add into the position. But so far I'm just waiting for that structure to come up here, because we could still easily continue to the upside as well. So we don't want to start adding too early. But if we get that nice structure here between the VWAPs and we make a lower low, that's going to be a beautiful opportunity here on ES to add into. RTY already making higher highs, whereas YM is very bearish and ES is kind of in the middle. So today, these markets are not correlated as much as they usually are. Trading between RTH and ETH VWAP. Quite usual. Now we can see if we can actually do what I said, that pullback, and then look for an ad in here. Points wise, it would be a pretty big one, 46 points. Obviously, the volatility is, much higher, so I had to size down. I actually entered this trade with 5 contracts, but I decided to scale out 2 of them because my my size was a little bit too big. I realized my R value was a little bit wider than I really like to have because of the volatility, so I had to size down a little bit. But still a big winner if we get this one right. The dollar amount doesn't change, just the size on the stop, point-wise. Remember that. So I forgot to take that into the account. Alright, now we're getting a move here. And we could get an opportunity to move or stop if we get here into this level. And then hopefully take the previous close. Take the previous close. Alright, we are moving towards the ad zone. And if someone has any questions about my trades, or if you guys have any trades today, let me know how it's going. Here we go. Almost got the ad already. Alright, we're gonna add into this. And we have our stop here, and we're gonna move our risk to these levels. Keeping risk tight. I have to make sure this is actually on the right level as well. Yes, it is. Maybe a little like that. Now we have it on a pretty good position. So why I add, the probability now is much higher that it's gonna go there, right? But if it turns here, then I don't want to stay and hold my stop in here, right? So I want to push the trade, get hopefully a bigger winner, and keep my risk lower in points at least. So I'm moving my stop, because otherwise, if the market does something like this, it's much more higher probability that we're gonna continue to the upside, right? So I really want to keep the prices anyways below these VWAPs here. I don't want to see it come back. And this is how I do it. This is how I like to do it. Look at the PNF chart. Some negative delta here. Looking all right. Now it's just a waiting game to see if the trade works or if it doesn't. That's how it goes. You can always make decisions, based on probabilities, but in the end, it's up to the market to do the move, and you can't really have any, power over that. At least, a trader like me who's trading much less size. So it's just up to the market. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now it's looking like we might get a turn back a little bit at least. It'll be important to see what type of reaction we get here at the ETH VWAP. I don't really want to see it making like a higher high. Like a smaller scale at least. A smaller scale at least. We really want to see the trend continue downwards. But so far, we ran into the support level, we ran through VWAP, and now we are running ourselves against the 9 EMA and soon maybe even the RTH VWAP. Could be a chance that we get stopped out here. We'll see. I do like the setup here though. So the probability, if we now even make a higher, like lower low, then I like it even more, and I might add some more into it. And again, we have someone trying to sell some type of boosting for viewership on Kick. No, thank you. I'm not about that life. Don't have shortcuts in anything in life. Shortcuts are always bad. Get rich fast, there's no such thing. Get followers fast, there's no such thing. No such thing in life. Finding some sellers here at RTH VWAP now. Back to break-even zone again. Obviously, it's because we added into the position. That's why we are at break-even. Sorry for the cough. I'm still a little bit sick, I think. Got a little flu on the weekend and still got it left here. I do usually cough a lot as well, but now especially when I have a lot of, what is it called? What's the word? The thing you have in your throat or whatever. Saliva. I have a lot of saliva. Or snot. Maybe that's the word. Moving back a little bit here by the looks of it. But we could still get a lower low here, and that would really be beautiful if we get a lower low. That's what I would want to see, but obviously we don't know what the market wants. Statistically speaking, the previous close is a nice level here. And it is an edge for sure. YM finding buyers at the overnight low as well. RTY is making a higher high here. Yes, still trading here between the VWAPs. Now, looks like we might get stopped out here. Might get stopped out here. But we'll see, we'll see. If this RTH VWAP is able to hold here, and maybe we could still continue the move to the downside, but so far moving uncomfortably close to our stop here. But that's how it goes. The idea with this play is to push the trade rather than, have it walk all the way back to this stop placement here. And that's how it goes. RTY is very bullish. Look at RTY finding so much buyers here at this level. YM also finding buyers, and ES taking a stop here. Finding a stop, and that's where we get stopped out, unfortunately. But we still have a nice try if we want to take another one here. If we want, and if we find a nice setup for it. Hmm. That was a nice try. Unfortunately, we do take a loss there on that trade. We might be looking for another one here, if possible. A re-entry is what the term is. Let's have a look. We ran VWAP so cleanly, and then we didn't get continuation to the downside there, unfortunately. Ran back. But now running to the upside. We might take this high here. We might just take this high and make a higher high. We might run this now, and then let's see if we can get something like this. Something like this, obviously the risk goes up, but the reward goes up as well. We'll see here. That's the plan, at least. A move through this level and back is what we're looking for. Is what we're looking for. But as you can see, like this is why you also add into positions, because when you enter here, you have such a wide risk here, right? So if it moves in favor, rather add and then, get more if it goes to goal, rather than watch this whole market move against you and stop you out here. without even pushing the trade, right? This is the same thing as on Friday, where we had the same situation. But when you get that ad and you add it to the position, you get so much more money. You get so much more money when it's higher probability. So even if I lost the trade, I I did it perfectly. There was no issue with it, for sure. No issue with it, for sure. And there we go. We run the high. Run the high. Let's see what the market does here. Nice rotations here. 40-point rotations today. Volatility still here. Going further into the singles now. Here we go. We ran the high. Now we're seeing some negative delta again, seeing some sellers. But we'll see if the move can still continue to the upside. We might enter here. Nice negative delta, but we really have to see the the move continue down. Usually at the 9 EMA, sometimes you get these reactions where it wants to continue to the upside. So we'll still see here. If that's the case. Still holding here. Prices. Let's see if we can get a move here to the downside or if this is just a pullback. So far looking like a pullback. So far looking like a pullback. Still not seeing what I want there, but you can see it made like an unfinished auction. So if you come back here, I would look to take a short for sure. No, I'm short. Last try of today. But now I have my entry much higher, which means that my ad would also be at a better position. So still looking to push this trade if we get back to these levels where we were previously. Where we were previously. We get a move in favor, and that's pretty much all we can do as a trader. We can pick the entry that gets the move in favor, and then it's up to the market to get the work done. Sometimes gets it done, and sometimes not. We are here to see if we can get a move to the downside here. Break the VWAPs into the downside and take the previous close. That would be something, wouldn't it? And there we go. We have a big buy order come into the market at this level. Very important to see what type of reaction we get at this level. Obviously, if the buyers agree and try to push this buyer up as well, or if we get a drop here and this buyer gets stuck in a bad position. Either way, anything is possible here. We got a nice move in favor, but then a big buyer came in. Let's see what the buyer has to offer. Does the market agree with the buyer, or do we get him stuck here? I really want to see him get stuck. 549 lots on ES. Looks like there was a big order on RTY as well, 280 lots. And you had a lot of buyers stuck at the top on RTY as well on the highs. Let's see now. This is going to be an interesting one. So something could happen here as well. We could take that and continue to the upside, or then we get the buyer stuck and take the previous close. What was our pre-market plan as well? So we're just gonna stick with the plan here. If we get stopped out, then I'm done with the day. Then I think the price will go more up and continue upwards, and then my reversion theory here is wrong. We could still, move to higher prices as well, but and then reject. But this looks very strong. We had a move down and found buyers, so usually that indicates that we are gonna go even more higher. We'll see. We'll see. Risk reward is really good on this trade regardless. No mitä? Tule. Tule. No mitä? My cat is here as well. My lovely cat. Helmut, täällä. Tule tänne, tule. Tule. Trying to get my cat into the lap, but he is very busy. Very busy man. Running around me, probably wants to go outside. Or wants to have a snack. Yeah, tule. Oi. There is kitty cat. Yes. My trading buddy. My trading buddy is here. Live on stereo, you can see my trading buddy. My trading buddy's name is Velmo. Velmo is the best rat catcher in the world. Yes, he likes catching rats. But he likes day trading a lot. He likes to sit in my chair very often when I have the markets open. Maybe he likes to look at the charts. And he's back here again. Chart cat. Looking at the charts. So close to getting stopped out here. We are probably gonna do that. But I'm gonna hold my stop there. Anyways, we're not gonna move it out of fear. Remember that. Never a good thing to move your stop just out of fear. Just because it looks like it's gonna take it. Doesn't always mean it. So I'm just gonna hold it there as long as I can. Because the theory is still the theory, the plan is still the plan, and we're gonna follow the plan to the end. Either it works or it doesn't. We'll have a look here. The entry was really good. Unfortunately, the big buyer came in there. That big buyer really got the market buying again. Buyers came back into the market. But that's also a thing you can't really, like, I can't decide if someone else is gonna buy or not, right? And that's why you should always, anticipate a loss. Even if you do your best job at your entry, it's always very, 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 very high chance that you're gonna, get stopped out later on. And, Miss Trader, I have a sub 50% win rate. I don't win more than half of the time. It's not about having a high win rate either. It's about winning the right trades. So keep your losses small and win the right trades. Here, if this trade works out, I'm gonna push this trade further and hopefully get a big winner. If it doesn't, no worries. I'll try again tomorrow. But so far, price is holding above this 9 EMA, which is not a good look. Not a good look. Looks like the market might want to take a peek above these prices. But you never know, right? You never know. All right. Stop holding. At least for a while. At least for a while. Now you can see this is a unfinished auction here, so I'm gonna move my stop here because it's likely that the price market might go here, and if it takes this price, it's probably gonna take the high as well. That's my logic. Unfinished auction, usually a magnet for the market. So I'm not gonna jump out of a trade, but I'm gonna minimize my risk in case that's what's gonna happen here. Keeping those losses as small as possible will help in the future. Are we gonna get stopped out here? Very close to it for sure, and yes, we are. Stopped out. And that's gonna be it for us. It's gonna be for it for us. All right, nothing else to do here anymore. Good day of trading. We took some losses here, but unfortunately, no price today. No price today, but that's how it goes sometimes. That's how it goes sometimes. That's how it goes. All right, we're gonna end the stream here. I don't really have any other plans for today. So all good, all good, all good, all good. I hope you had a good day of trading today. I'll close my charts here and start doing something else. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow again, and we'll have a good day of trading. All right, bye guys.